Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. Guys, we're taking a look today at the pending unrestricted free agent of the Edmonton Oilers, forward Ryan Nugent Hopkins. What's the future of Nuge? Does he stay in Edmonton? Does he go in free agency? We'll be taking a look at the latest on that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. So let's take a look at the Edmonton Oilers. So guys, the Oilers are an interesting team because we're looking at a team that, let's be honest, they need the scoring help. And it seems like they finally got it this season. They got it together a little bit. You have Connor McDavid, you have Leon Draisaitl, you have Jesse Puljujarvi, you have Kailer Yamamoto, and you have Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And it looks like some of that formula may be coming apart. Now, obviously, we saw Puljujarvi and Yamamoto struggle in the postseason this year. And just seems like Ryan Nugent Hopkins is maybe done in Edmonton. So I've been talking about this storyline a lot. This is like my third, maybe even fourth video over the past couple of months because I think this is a really intriguing storyline because this guy, if Ryan Nugent Hopkins goes into free agency, will absolutely be looked at. A lot of teams are going to be interested in what he can provide for, their franchise. A guy that can play center. He's proven he can play center. He can play wing on your top line with the best guys and score. And there is some questions about his consistency. Inconsistent play is his liability, and that has been his biggest Achilles heel. And we've seen that throughout his career. A former first overall draft pick back in 2011, now a decade ago, which is just absolutely insane. But Ryan Nugent Hopkins is going to command a price tag. You look at, he was on pace for 51 points in an 82-game season this year. Now, he did only pick up 31 points, legitimately, but because of the condensed schedule, let's say they played the full season, he was on pace for 51 points. Now the next question is, what would he likely get in terms of a price? Now, Ken Holland is going to have to be pretty stringent here on Ryan Nugent Hopkins in a contract because the Oilers don't have much cap space. They're going to have to buy out Mikko Koskinen. That seems like a foregone conclusion at this point. They're probably not going to be able to keep a guy like Tyson Barrie. So, the price tag does become important here. And they do have to re-sign Ethan Bear as well. So, the price tag has to be, if the Oilers want to keep him, I'm going to say between $6 million and $6.7 million. So a very small gap that they can really work with. Now the problem is, in the open market, we could see Nuge get between 6.5 and maybe between $7 and $7.2 million. He could get that deal. And the question is, which teams are desperate enough? Because you look at Calgary, which is just down the road. Yeah, they've kind of invested a lot into some of their guys. And if they look at a guy like Jack Eichel this summer, they probably won't have the funds for that. But if they move out guys like Gaudreau, maybe even a Monahan or a Hanifin, they may have some cap space to work with there. And they could maybe bring in a Nugent Hopkins this summer. So he's only moving down the road. And we've seen Calgary do this in the past, moving Chris Tanev and Jacob Markstrom from Vancouver, moving them out of BC to Alberta. This is an even shorter drive for guys like Ryan Nugent Hopkins. So that is something to bear in mind. But again, it comes down to money. Now, if he does stay in Edmonton, which I think, he's been very adamant that he's made it clear that he wants to stay in Edmonton. The problem is, it's dollars. If a team like Arizona or Seattle or even the Ottawa Senators or the LA Kings or even the Calgary Flames offers him more money, it's going to be hard to turn down that money. Now, the question is it worth it for Nuge to stick around in Edmonton for the lower price tag? Because let's be honest, the Oilers just got swept in the first round by the Winnipeg Jets. Now, this is not a discredit to the Winnipeg Jets because they have played very well. Connor Hellebuyck played really well in this year's playoffs. One of the hottest goalies in the league by far. But guys, they did not look good since the trade deadline. Probably the worst team in the regular season, in the entire league since the trade deadline. And they got swept by them in the first round. So are they on the trajectory to take that next step? And if, Nugent Hopkins really believes with guys like Darnell Nurse, and the emergence of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Jesse Puljujarvi and, Keller Yamamoto, if he truly believes in that plan, he'll stick around. I think he'll stay there between $6 and $6.5 million. Now, the question is duration, because the Oilers probably aren't going to want to lock down Ryan Nugent Hopkins because, like I just mentioned, they have to re-sign some of their guys. I mean, it's crazy, but in the next 3 years, Philip Broberg will have to get his entry-level deal, renegotiated for his next contract in the next 3 years. It's crazy, right? So in that time span, you have to think if Broberg starts his contract next season here in the fall, the clock is ticking on 3 years. So at max, 2 to 3 years here on a Ryan Nugent Hopkins contract. And it's got to be between $6 and $7 million for 2 to 3 years. Now, the question is, if he doesn't stay in Edmonton and he wants more term and he wants more in terms of per season salary, what are some of the teams he could look at? Now, I already hinted at some of those teams. On the West Coast, you could look at the LA Kings, the Arizona Coyotes with their new ownership, and maybe even the new expansion team, the Seattle Kraken. Could they pluck a guy like Ryan Nugent Hopkins off of the free agent market? They may just be that team to do that. Or what about the Chicago Blackhawks? Stan Bowman could be in the mix for a guy like Ryan Nugent Hopkins just to add a little bit of mustard on the cake, a little bit of custard on the cake for that Chicago Blackhawks team. Just think about it right now. Just think about it. Alex DeBrincat, Jonathan Toews down the middle, P.S. Suter, if he sticks around, Patrick Kane, oh yeah. If they keep Alex Nylander, oh yeah. If they keep Dylan Strome, oh yeah. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Add Kirby Dach. Yes, so that's what I'm saying. So, Chicago Blackhawks could have the cap space here. Stan Bowman may be in the mix for Nuge this summer if he goes to free agency. And the Ottawa Senators, like I mentioned earlier in this video, if you could somehow sell, Eugene Melnick on, hey, you know what? Pierre Dorion has got to give a good selling pitch. He's got to be like, hey, you know what? If you want to take this team to the next level and win a Stanley Cup at this point, you have to add some guys. And if you're not going to add on the defense, you got to add a forward. And a guy like Ryan Nugent Hopkins would instantly add some stability and credibility on your forward group. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Where do you think Ryan Nugent Hopkins will sign this summer? Do you think he stays in Edmonton? Do you think he goes to Calgary? Do you think he goes to the Seattle Kraken? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.